Well guys, welcome into rainy Vegas. Look at this, one of those few and far between rainy days here in Vegas. In this video, I want to share with you why the stock market is going to be absolutely insane for the next 72 hours. And I mean absolutely craziness. This is about to be one of the craziest 72-hour periods in the stock market in general, okay? I'm going to share with you what I think will happen in this whole scenario, and I'm going to tell you what I am personally doing with my money. And let me just say, holy smokes, this ain't no joke. The stock market's already starting out crazy, and we haven't even begun into the real craziness yet. Look at Beyond Meat today. I mean, my goodness, the stock's up over 14%. I try to find news for it. There's no news for Beyond Meat today. I don't know if it's a short squeeze or maybe somebody knows some information that maybe is not publicly out there yet or something, okay? But that stock's moving huge off of literally no public news around it, okay? GameStop, did you see GameStop? I mean, the stock went to like $160 a share or something like that today and then went down below $70. Like that stock's just insane. I mean, just craziness. You have Tesla, up $20 a share. Oh, that's every day for Tesla, okay? Hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, if you want to go ahead and join Stock Hub, the biggest and best Discord chat in the whole world for long-term stock market investors, and that will be linked in the description. I might also have that as a pinned comment. If you want to try to apply for my private stock group, that's in the description area as well. As far as the application for that, I might also have that as a second pinned comment. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up for this video. We need some help in the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it, guys. And let's get into this, okay? So the real craziness starts in about 12 hours from now, okay? And that's just the start of it, okay? We have a ton of big earnings coming. We have Johnson & Johnson. We have GE, 3M, Lockheed Martin, Verizon, D.R. Horton, American Express, Freeport-McMoRan, all reporting first thing in the morning tomorrow, okay? So we're already gonna get a ton of big earnings right off the bat, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? That's just a start. And these are a lot of big companies, okay? A lot of great big dividend companies are in that, right? A lot of people own Johnson & Johnson for the dividends. 3M, same thing. Verizon, same thing, right? We're gonna get to hear from D.R. Horton. How's the housing market looking? What's the outlook like? American Express. I mean, if you want to talk about a company that can gauge the spending of worldwide consumers, obviously, mostly in the United States, but this, American Express is all over the world. Like, how is spending? What do they think about travel? American Express, a huge company in relation to travel. Are they seeing any pickup there? Not yet. What's their expectations? Very important to always look at a company like American Express because they can see everything, okay? And then things start to get really, really crazy after the bell, 24 hours from now, okay? A ton of companies that you guys own are going to be reporting after the bell on Tuesday. AMD. I know a ton of you guys own AMD stock out there, okay? Very popular retail investor stock. You know what also is? Microsoft, okay? Microsoft, usually like the second or third biggest company in the entire world when it comes to market capitalization, usually just behind Apple. They're going to be coming out with their earnings as well. So, a lot of you guys either own one of those two stocks. Starbucks, another very popular stock. I mean, who doesn't love a little Buc-ee's, right? And then Texas Instruments, okay? Texas Instruments is going to be important. You know why? They make a ton of semiconductors that go into cell phones. A lot of you guys might know Texas Instruments from the calculators they made back in the day that you were forced to get in like high school or something like that. But Texas Instruments makes a ton of semiconductors that go into a lot of different smartphones, including, usually they even have contracts with Apple as well. So yeah, very important company to pay attention to there. We'll get a little gauge on how smartphone sales are and many other products as well. So yeah, that's when the real craziness is gonna start, okay? And that is all just child's play, okay? Compared to what will go down on Wednesday, okay? Before the bell, Boeing, AT&T, Abbott Labs, the NASDAQ, Progressive, and GLW Corning all reporting earnings, okay? The biggest one and most important one of the bunch is probably Boeing, okay? I'm looking at if Boeing was to drop into the $175 range after earnings or something like that, I would probably pick up some shares just as like a long-term investment play. But a lot of people have been playing Boeing stock on a recovery. Now, we know that, these airlines aren't likely to purchase a ton of planes in the short term. However, long term, Boeing will get back on track eventually, okay? It's probably going to take a year or two, but a lot of people have already been playing that one. I'm kind of looking at it as I'm like, hey, if it goes, you know, to 250, 275, not at all interested in the stock because it's still kind of like, it's going to take a while for things to play out. But man, if this one drops, it's one I'm actually keeping a very close eye on for this earnings season, okay? And then obviously a ton of those other stocks, a lot of them are good dividend stocks, okay? And then within a 30-minute span, absolute chaos is going to break out, okay? Absolute chaos. Apple, Tesla, and Facebook all reporting earnings within a 30-minute span. Are you kidding me? You got to be flipping my flapjacks, okay? We got the biggest company in the world. We got the most popular stock in the world in Tesla, and we got by far the biggest social media giant in the world, all reporting within 30 minutes of each other, okay? So that's when just absolute chaos ensues, okay? Now, in terms of Facebook and Tesla, I personally have big positions on those companies, and Tesla's actually even a bigger investment for me than Facebook is, mainly because Tesla's just gone up so dang much. I got like $650K right into Tesla into this earnings, okay? And like I said, that's more money than I actually have in Facebook right now, okay? In terms of Tesla earnings, I know a lot of you guys want me to talk about Tesla earnings, Apple earnings, and Facebook earnings, okay? We'll get into Tesla in just a moment. As far as Apple, first off, okay, we'll give respect to the big giant. I think they're probably going to beat on revenue, okay? Revenue is expected to be up 16.4%. I think they're going to probably actually beat on that, which would be incredible because that's a pretty impressive number. When you're talking about a company that's doing like 100 billion of revenue, if they beat that, that's extraordinary. I can tell you there aren't many companies in the world doing $100 billion plus in revenue in a 3-month span. That's absolutely ridiculous, okay? As far as next quarter and guidance goes, I think they'll probably guide in line. That's what, usually they like to do. They don't like to, usually guide way above what analysts are looking for. They'll probably guide in line or slightly above. Now, it's very possible Wall Street could look at that. Let's say they beat revenue and let's say they guide for just in line. It's very possible Apple stock could sell off based upon that, okay? Now, who knows? It might go the other way as well, but I've just seen it time and time again when if they just guide in line where the stock will actually sell off because a lot of expectations are there. And so even though that would be really good news, like if you guide in line, that's still like 27% growth next quarter. Unbelievable. If they beat on earnings, unbelievable, right? But the stock has ran a lot. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Apple stock didn't do much or even pull back a little bit just because the expectations are so dang big. But I honestly think they will beat. Now, where things are going to get interesting, I think they're going to actually crush the EPS number, okay? Analysts expect Apple to do $1.41 of EPS. I think Apple's going to come in with $1.50 plus, okay? And I mean, last year they did $1.25. I think they're going to destroy that number, okay? Absolutely obliterate it. I'm thinking at least $1.50. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Apple didn't come in with like a $1.75 number, okay, which would be shocking, just completely shocking, right? From $1.41, what analysts expect, if they do $1.75, I'm not saying they're going to do that, but I wouldn't be surprised because the revenue numbers are going to be strong, the profitability is going to be incredible for this company. Obviously, the services business is a very profitable business model for them. That's taking off. Their corporate expenses are going to be likely down considerably year over year because of all the virtual work for this company versus that corporate office environment. You're looking at all these different factors, and yeah, I think they're going to likely beat very nicely on EPS. Now, when it comes to Tesla, okay, analysts are expecting this company to have done about $10.32 billion in revenue, okay? I would say they'll probably be somewhere around that, okay? Maybe slight beat, maybe slight miss, maybe right in line, somewhere right around there, okay? The thing with Tesla is we already know the units, right? Because Tesla already announces that like a month before earnings ever even come out. So we already know the units they did, right? But the thing is we don't know average selling price. And that's where things can get a little kind of like, okay, what's average selling price? How many are leased and at what prices are these, vehicles leased at if they're leased, right? Then also like how many let's say self-driving package upgrades did we have in a quarter? That's like an $8,000 upgrade, right? Over the air update. How many have that happened? So we don't know all that. So that's where numbers can get a little crazy. So even though we have some information on this as public knowledge, we don't know exactly. So I would say Tesla's probably going to be somewhere roughly in there, okay? Now, next quarter, okay, as far as guidance, what do they guide for? Analysts are expecting 60% revenue growth year over year. Remember, last year in that same quarter, the company was hurt slightly by the Rona, okay? So I'm thinking in line or slight upside to Tesla next quarter. Remember, Model Y is now, getting shipped all over the world versus last year it wasn't at this particular time, okay? All over the world, even the China market, as well for Model Y. So I'm definitely expecting some, really huge numbers even next quarter as well, okay? As far as the EPS, that's the one thing that I have no clue, to be honest. And I don't think a sold really does unless they work super high up at Tesla, okay? I mean, because this company has so many moving parts. They're always spending so much money in different projects, right? They always try to cut costs back and things like that, but then they'll also drop the price of cars very often, right? So let's say they save some cost on a Model 3 in a market. Sometimes they end up dropping the price of it. So this is where things get really confusing, is when you talk about EPS. Also, how many regulatory credits does the company use in this quarter? These are all questions that honestly I can't tell you, and no one can tell you unless they work, in maybe the top 10 most important positions at Tesla, okay? And so, yeah, the analysts are expecting $1, but honestly, when it comes to Tesla at this stage with this company, it's like throwing darts at a dartboard and it's completely dark and you don't know where the heck the dartboard is, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if the company reported a 25-cent EPS number. I wouldn't be surprised if the company reported a $1.50 EPS number, to be completely honest. I have no clue where that number is going to shake out at. I can tell you if it is, let's say it's $1.25, $1.50, dare I say $1.75? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla stock continue to roar higher. Because the one kind of pushback you could have on Tesla in the short term is like, look at the valuation, look at the PE ratio, and things like that. But if all of a sudden this company's doing $1.50 of EPS, and all of a sudden people are starting to run numbers and like, oh, Tesla might do $6 to $10 of EPS this year in 2021, and they're thinking next year they do $10 plus, and all of a sudden you start to look at the stock and you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually a EPS story and not just a revenue growth story. So we don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm going to be super interested in, honestly, is what that EPS number comes in at, because I have no clue and no one really does, okay? When it comes to FB, I think they're going to be in line or a slight beat when it comes to revenue number for, this quarter they're going to report. They're supposed to have about 25% revenue growth, okay? Next quarter, I'm a little blind about, when it comes to FB, okay? They're supposed to do 26% revenue growth in basically next quarter. Now, keep in mind, this company was hurt last year by the Rona, okay? So their growth numbers should look very impressive year over year. But also, we don't know, how much of an impact the Apple changes are going to have for, FB. If you didn't know, okay, iOS in the new update, essentially, it's going to hurt, Facebook at least a little bit in terms of data sharing, okay, back to the advertisers. So we don't know how much this is going to actually hurt Facebook's business model. Facebook has went on record and said it's going to hurt them somewhat, okay, to a certain extent, okay, but we don't really know how much. Is it like 5% hurt them, 10% hurt them, like 1% hurt them? We don't know. So I think next quarter is really that quarter where it's like, what the heck are they going to guide for? Because we really have no clue, okay? As far as EPS goes for current quarter, I think they're going to beat. I'll be honest. They're expected to do $3.21. I would say they will probably beat that number. Keep in mind, this company usually beats numbers. I've been tracking this company since it went public back in, I think that was 2011, 2012, sometime around there. Maybe it was 2012. And this company usually just beats. They beat consistently, okay? If we look at their past 4 quarters, they had a slight beat. Then in the Rona quarter, they had a slight miss, right? But it was a very slight miss. Then they had a huge beat. And then they had a huge beat, okay? So this is a company that usually beats and beats and beats on earnings. And yeah, I'm expecting them to beat on earnings this time around as well, okay? Now, the fun does not end there, okay? It's not even done yet, okay? Then Thursday, we have a ton of big companies reporting, okay? Now, American Airlines, I didn't circle that one, AAL, but that's one that actually a lot of retail investors own. A lot of them have been playing that as kind of like airline recovery, like beating down stock. Maybe it's going to bounce back and you can double up your money and things like that. So, that's going to be an important one for some of you guys that actually own that stock, okay? But then we have McDonald's. Then we have MasterCard. MasterCard, very important one, kind of like an American Express. What's going on there, okay? McCormick, Sherman & Williams, which their numbers should be very nice. I mean, I'm talking, that company is in a perfect spot right now. A lot of people improving their homes, home offices, throwing some paint on the walls, things like that over this past year with all the, everybody spending more and more time at home. Sherman Williams, plus the housing market has been pretty dang strong. That's definitely an interesting one there, okay? Southwest Airlines, another important one. Ticker symbol LOVE on that one to see what their numbers shaking at. And hey, we're gonna have to listen, like what's going on with travel, okay? Then after the close, we have Visa, we have Skyworks, we have a bunch of other companies, and MicroStrategy, okay? Visa, just like American Express and MasterCard, important to listen to them and hear what they have to say about transactions, okay? Skyworks and MicroStrategy, important companies actually for me, okay? That MicroStrategy company, MSTR, that's my Bitcoin spec play, okay? That I'm actually playing. I put like 50K in that stock. So far, we're doing pretty dang good on it. We're up like $26,000 so far because Bitcoin's been doing pretty dang good since I invested in that one. So, you know, it's an interesting play in that kind of space. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that stock after earnings based upon the earnings conference call. Because not a lot of people are invested in that company actually for their underlying business. So it's going to be around the commentary. Is this company looking to purchase more Bitcoin? Or are they looking to do other things in the crypto space in general? I think that's going to be really important to kind of hear with that company. And by the way, I just want to show you guys this, okay? This is what I have to deal with when I'm trying to prep a video for you guys, okay? I'm getting absolutely destroyed. My head was getting pushed in. I'm like, I got to take a picture of this, man, so people really know what it's like for me to try to post one of these videos, okay? Skyworks Solutions, ticker symbol SWKS. This is my 5G play. This is my biggest 5G play. I'm also invested in Qualcomm, another direct player in the 5G space, okay? But Skyworks Solutions, you know, on the public account alone, I have over 100K in that stock, and I absolutely love that company, okay? As far as their earnings, they're expected to have 20% revenue growth year over year. I think they're probably going to have a very nice beat there, okay? I'll be honest. That's still an impressive number, even if they did 20%. I think they'll beat. And if they guide for next quarter, I think they're going to beat on that as well, okay? 19.4% expected for guidance next quarter. Like I said, I think they will beat there as well. Keep this in mind, okay? This is a teardown of the iPhone 12 done by iFixit, okay? Look at how many chips Skyworks Solutions has in the new iPhone, okay? This is the Skyworks Sky 5 RF module. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different chips, okay, identified. 8 different chips. That's absolutely extraordinary, okay? Skyworks, we don't know the specific numbers because we don't have the contracts that are from Skyworks to Apple. That would not be good, right? But from our understanding, Skyworks is likely getting $23 to $27 per every iPhone sold, okay? That is a good chunk of change. Run up the numbers on how many iPhones will likely be sold in 2021, and then run the numbers of Skyworks getting between $23 and $27 per iPhone sold. And also very important, it's not like Apple's Skyworks only customer. I mean, they're pretty much in all the big players out there, okay? Something very important to keep in mind. $2.08 is expected for EPS for Skyworks Solutions. I think they're gonna destroy that number. I mean, I think they're going to absolutely obliterate that number, okay? Which that's very nice growth year over year. $1.68 year ago, $2.08 this year. Like I said, I think they're going to destroy that number because, I mean, you just look at the revenue numbers they should be getting per iPhone. I doubt they're going to have a dip in profitability and you know, gross margins should be somewhat stable as well. I think they're going to destroy that. And I think the iPhone's selling incredibly well right now. I think this is going to be the biggest year ever for iPhone sales by a mile, okay? Earnings history for this company. They usually beat, okay? Look at that. They beat. They even beat in the Rona quarter, right? Very slight beat, but they still beat. Then 11.6% beat, 21.7% beat. This company is beating consistently, and I expect them to absolutely obliterate that EPS number. I think they're going to post something pretty dang epic, okay? Let's just put it that way. So yeah, Skyworks, I'm like, you know, I wish I would have bought that stock even heavier because I'm looking at the type of position this company's in and I'm like, dang, man, this is pretty darn attractive. I think their profitability is about to go through the dang roof, okay? Then for the last few straggler stocks up here, okay? On Friday, we have Caterpillar, Eli Lilly, Ericsson, SAP, Chevron, Honeywell. By the way, a lot of other smaller companies on Thursday and Friday as well. But when it comes to the major one there, Caterpillar, going to definitely be a stock to watch. Remember, Caterpillar is at pretty much a 5-year high right now, okay? I mean, this stock is riding high on hopes of just, I mean, honestly, a lot of stocks are riding high right now, but this one, especially because there's a lot of thought about, big infrastructure bill. I mean, we've heard about a massive infrastructure bill happening in the United States for, I've been listening to this probably for about a decade plus now. It still hasn't really happened. We've had other infrastructure bills, more minor ones. We're talking an epic one, okay? Does an epic one come? And if it does, that's obviously going to be a huge benefit to a company like Caterpillar. So a lot of people are hoping around that. Also very important, Caterpillar is a big player in China. Very important to hear what is going on in China from a company that's actually doing business there. And in hearing from that perspective, okay? So very, very important as well, okay? Now, as far as me personally, I'm around 22% cash going into this earnings season, and I am ready for deals if I'm presented with opportunities in different stocks out there. Now, I would have even a higher cash percentage, but in the month of December, last month, I ended up putting about $1 million into WBA, okay, Walgreens Boots Alliance, which is doing pretty darn well, and I'm glad I made that move. But at the same time, I'm not as high of cash as I would have been. So if we get some market opportunities, I'm definitely in a position where I have plenty of money around to go ahead and deploy. I never like to go under 10% cash, okay? But, I definitely have a lot on the sideline to kind of play with and ready in my accounts and ready to, transfer from other accounts to other accounts if we get some true great deals out there, okay? I'm gonna be keeping an eye on several different stocks as we spoke about here in this video, but also a lot of smaller companies as well to kind of see if there's any opportunities that emerge, okay? It's also possible some of these stocks could skyrocket more, okay? And maybe I cash and take some profits depending on what particular stock we're talking about, okay? There's some stocks I'm I'm a believer in, but it's not like one of those stocks I'll hold forever, okay? By the way, on Saturday, I actually posted a video that I don't think a lot of you guys got to see on Financial Education 2 about 5 stocks I plan to actually hold forever. Not all my stocks meet that criteria as stocks I plan on holding for forever and ever, right? But there definitely are some. So if you didn't get to check out that video on Financial Education 2, I think you guys definitely might want to check out that one. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you don't mind, smash that thumbs up button. That helps us out huge in the YouTube algorithm and with the channel in general. I appreciate you guys in a massive way, and I hope you enjoyed this video here today. If you want to join Stock Hub, it's absolutely free to do so. That's going to be linked in the description. Also have that as a pinned comment if you want to try to apply for my private stock group and get in there, learn all my strategies, how I make money from stocks, how I run portfolios, even get one-on-one coaching, things like that. If you want to try to apply for that, that'll be linked in the description. Might also have that as the second pinned comment down there. Thank you for watching my bald head, and have a great day.